video today for you to help you with your academic writing. So today I'm going to talk to you about commas and this important punctuation and how it can be kind of tricky sometimes. So there are some rules that you need to learn in order to use commas correctly. So I'm going to give you about 5 different ways to use commas. And then I'm also going to give you a tip on a common comma error that most international students make. And then I'm also going to give you a little quiz so you can actually practice using commas and try to remember the rules. All right, let's get started. How to use commas correctly. Let's first start by talking about what commas do in a sentence. A comma helps break up a sentence or phrases in parts that show meaning. How important is it to use commas properly? Commas help the reader understand you better, and it makes you look more advanced. So actually, commas are quite important in your writing if you're trying to become a better writer. Let's look at comma use number 1. I like cake, ice cream, and fruit. So use a comma in a list of 3 or more items with and. Comma use number 2. I need a new apartment, so I'll search soon. So you can see the comma here before so. Use a comma after a coordinating conjunction, so, and, or, yet, etc., in between 2 independent clauses. So there are other coordinating conjunctions. However, so, and, or, and yet are the most common ones. Examples of comma use number 2. Example with or between 2 independent clauses. Here's a sentence. You can do the test now, or you can do it later. So you see how there are 2 independent clauses that are separated with the comma and or. This is a good way to use a comma. Comma use number 3. Here's an example sentence. Although the pandemic is getting better, comma, we need to still use masks. We still need to use masks. So see how we have a comma after that first part? Use a comma after an introductory clause. For example, adverb clause, adverbial phrase, if clause, conditional phrase, etc. Here are some examples. Here's one with an adverb clause. Since I just arrived in the US, I feel confused about the culture. You see how there's an introductory phrase that's an adverb clause, and we put a comma after that, and then we continue the sentence. Here's another example. This is an adverbial phrase. After the class, let's go to lunch. So these are also called time clauses. It tells us the time, right? After the class, comma, let's go to lunch. Here's an example of the if clause. If it rains, we need to bring an umbrella. So the comma here comes after the if clause. If it rains, comma, we need to bring an umbrella. Comma use number 4. The professor, who is a well-known scientist, gave a speech on campus last night. So you see how there are commas around who is a well-known scientist? Use commas around adjective clauses that are non-restrictive. Non-restrictive means that it's extra information that describes the noun. So you don't have to have it to complete the sentence. You're just adding more information. This phrase begins with a relative pronoun, who, whom, whose, that, or which. Examples of comma use number 4. The woman whose hair is brown is talking on the phone. So notice that it's non-restrictive. This means it's extra information, right? So if we take it out, we could say the woman is talking on the phone. Now we're just adding more information describing who the woman is, whose hair is brown. So we separate that with commas. Here's another one. The student that is smiling is on the phone. So notice now that I'm describing the student, right? I'm adding more information. So you separate that by commas. Comma use number 5. Professor Abara, the computer science specialist, is an excellent instructor. So this almost looks the same as the one before, but notice that there's no relative pronoun. Who, that, whose. Use a comma to set off defining information for a noun. In English grammar, this is called an appositive. Notice that no relative pronoun is needed. Who, which, that, etc. Here's another example. The Red Sox, the best baseball team in the league, won the World Series. So notice that it's extra information, so you could actually take out the best baseball team in the league, right? So this is like someone's opinion about the Red Sox. The sentence would be complete without it. We could say the Red Sox won the World Series. Now, I want you to test out your knowledge. Pause the video and decide where the comma should go. What about this sentence? Where should you put the commas? Here's the answer. I enjoy running, comma, walking, comma, and biking. This is that comma use with 3 items in a row. Here's another one. Where do you think the commas go? Here's the answer. This one is an appositive. So remember this one, you put the commas around the defining information of the noun. So the noun is Sato Sakura Gallery, and you're describing it now, right? A private fine art gallery. And then the sentence continues, is located in New York. This is called an appositive. What about this one? Where should the commas go? This one is the non-restrictive adjective clause. Notice that it starts with that, and you put the commas around that adjective clause that describes the coffee shop. How about this one? Where should the comma go? After the if clause. If it snows, comma, we can't drive. Now I want to mention before we finish a common comma error to avoid. So many international students make the mistake of using a comma between 2 independent clauses. This is called a comma splice in English grammar. Let's look at an example. So notice that there's a comma where it shouldn't be, or if you use it, you need to add something else. These are 2 independent clauses. This means that those 2 parts can be separated as a sentence. How do you think you can fix this error? What do you think? You can add a conjunction after the comma. I want to live in Boston, comma, but it's too expensive. You could also fix this by taking out the comma and the but and just putting a period. So you could say, I want to live in Boston, period, and then it's too expensive. However, with this one, it works better to have a conjunction because the 2 parts really go together naturally with but. Keep practicing commas in your writing. Okay, so that's all for now. I hope you learned something about English writing and about commas and the rules that you need to follow. and hopefully you can keep working on that and improving your English. So don't forget to like and subscribe and check out my other videos. Bye!